Ready to put that tax return towards the purchase of a vehicle? The Team Automotive Group can help you maximize your refund's value. Choose from over 450 certified and pre-owned vehicles, with over 40 priced under $15,000. Stop by and save at any location or log on anytime to teamautouse.com.
Welcome to Monday, huh?
Yeah.
God, they happened fast.
It did.
They just get here so quickly. I'm exhausted already. It's only a Monday. So welcome to the Plus, everybody. 9 News Now, 9:15 Monday through Friday. How was your weekend? Good?
Yeah, not bad. Enjoyed some time outside with the spring-like weather.
Yeah.
Mowed the grass. You and I talked about that. I know you didn't enjoy that so much. We delivered some Girl Scout cookies yesterday. My daughter in the neighborhood. So stay a little busy.
Hello?
Yours are on the way tomorrow.
Okay. Just gonna say.
Maybe.
It was about... well, actually, as you talk about it, it is going to be another warm day today. Not as warm, but also a little bit of breeze moving these big old clouds around.
Yeah, I think that helps out if you're not a big fan of the warm weather like Matt. At least we've got the breeze out there today, kind of taking some of the sting out of the warmth. But it is 4 straight days. We've had record highs here in Baton Rouge. Right now, you can see kind of a mix of sun and clouds over the capital city. Sky 9 camera brought to you by Our Lady of the Lake. And yeah, temperatures warming up. We only bottomed out in the low 70s. Right now, Baton Rouge, Gonzales at 76. Most areas low to mid 70s, although home already into the upper 70s at 77 degrees at this hour. All right, here's a look at those winds that are going to help out a bit if you don't like the warm weather. Right now, southwest 16 in Baton Rouge. We do have some spots gusting into the 20s, like New Roads 25, Gonzales gusting to 22. So a pretty healthy breeze out there right now. And that just kind of adds to that spring-like feel. Warm weather, that nice breeze. All right, dialing up our first alert weather our radar network right now. You can see we are all dry locally. Take you up to the northwest, a little thin broken band of some showers showing up northwest Alexandria as you head up a little closer to between Alexandria and Shreveport. Now it looks like a little south of Natchitoches. That is ahead of a weak cold front. And with that headed our way today, we can't rule out a couple of stray showers, but we are talking about slim rain chances. You saw how sparse the rain was right now, and it's going to be a limited chance. All right, here's your forecast. I've got temperatures around 80 at noon, low 80s for highs. So looks like we might end that streak of record highs, but still not going to be far from it. Today's record is 85. I'm going 82, and if we squeeze out a little more sun than expected, we could get close. We've seen that happen as of late. This evening, mid-70s at 6 o'clock, sunset now just beyond 6 o'clock as our days continue to get longer. All right, here's the look at that slim rain chance on future radar. I'll advance this, pause at noon, and you can see hints of a few sprinkles locally with the cold front approaching. Pause again at 3 o'clock. Again, hints of a light shower to a few sprinkles, not much. The clouds are going to dictate, again, how warm we get today, but notice this weak front moving in this evening. Now, I want you to notice it's late afternoon, early evening. It might be slipping through Metro Baton Rouge, but even north of it, not much change in temperatures, right? So this front is kind of losing its identity as it moves through Louisiana. So even as it continues southward, we are not going to see, hang on, let's see what's going on here. We are not going to see much of a change in temperatures behind that front. All right, there you go. The front continues to weaken. Some clouds, though, still around for tonight. All right, jumping ahead now later this week, we are going to have another cold front moving in. Looks like late Thursday night, early Friday. This is the European model. This is the pre-dawn hours of Friday, showing some rain moving through. Now, right now, not showing anything terribly intense in terms of the storm threat locally, keeping most of the storms up to our north. However, there are some indications that the system could be a bit more active than what some of the models are showing right now. So it's not a high confidence thing, but the Storm Prediction Center is already going with a decent severe weather threat, going a level 3 out of 5, mostly Thursday night into early Friday in our part of the world. And that's just northwest of Baton Rouge, the 3 out of 5. Elsewhere in yellow, including Baton Rouge, the 2 out of 5 slight risk. So we're going to keep an eye on that. Like I said, this is not a high confidence setup, but something we want to watch. One things we look at are analog systems. So storm systems that took a similar track and had a similar conditions of the atmosphere And in the past, storm systems similar to this one have produced a decent amount of severe weather in the deep south. That's why the Storm Prediction Center might be erring on a little bit on the higher side with that threat. In the meantime, warm weather is going to be our main thing the next several days. Now, tomorrow morning may be slightly cooler as some drier air tries to filter in. I've got lows in the low 60s, but keep it highs in the 80s right on through Thursday. Now, most days we're below the record this week. Wednesday's going to be close, though. The record is 86, and that's what I'm forecasting. Then we get that chance of storms late Thursday night, Friday morning. And if you're waiting on the cooler weather, we finally got some for you late this week on into the weekend. By Friday, a high of only 69. This weekend, lows down to the 40s, noticeably cooler, highs in the low 70s. Overall, a beautiful first weekend of March. Cool weather not going to last that long, though. As we get into early next week, here we are getting quickly back into the 80s, Matt.
Well, it looks like the time to mow is going to be this Saturday or Sunday with that 70s, 73. Wake up at maybe about 60 degrees and get out there and tackle it.
Yeah, you know, with this early spring we've broken out into, you do need to do some yard work in the flower beds, whatever. The weekend should be beautiful.
I got pollen everywhere, man. Everywhere right now. Cap, thank you, man.
You
Appreciate
got
it. All right, folks, let's get you caught up on everything world of Baton Rouge-wise as you kind of get through your day. This actually turned into a pretty big headline for about 3,000 or so customers earlier this morning. Power outage, South Baton Rouge. I'm going to give you a look real quick at where this was, because it's now it's over for the most part. Check this out. So you've got Lee Drive down to Gardere from Burbank to Nicholson. That huge area, that's what you're seeing. It's a lot of student housing. I mean, LSU is right there. So that was earlier this morning. This right here is right now. This is that same section from the Entergy power outage map, and they are back online. Originally, Entergy saying that it was a dump truck accidentally pulled down. They're pulling down some equipment out there and accidentally pulled down some of the power lines with it. But the good news is getting back to all green. Good to go this morning. As you kind of begin your day, BRPD is asking you to keep your eyes peeled here for this man, a missing man from Georgia. That is 42-year-old Nathan Millard. Now, last seen Thursday in downtown Baton Rouge. As far as the description, what he was wearing, it's all right here waiting for you in this story. But family has not seen him or heard from him since. He was in town, they tell us, on a business trip. Perhaps may have gone to a basketball game in the area as well. Again, last seen Thursday, downtown Baton Rouge. If you know anything about this, even the smallest little bit of detail, maybe you saw him downtown, maybe you saw him somewhere else, give Crime Stoppers a call at 344-STOP. Let's make sure he gets back to his family. This was something that was being talked about actually this morning. This just got re-released from West Baton Rouge Parish. Folks over there, this is in Bruley. Apparently somebody had a beef with a car. Have you seen the video? I'm going to play a little bit of it for you right here. Just swinging, going after with a baseball bat after a car here. Not quite sure who these people are. That's why Bruley is re-releasing this. And then after that, whoever this might be, this woman kind of rifles through the car itself and, according to PD, steals a couple of phones. So, who might these people be? Do you know anything about this? Well, guess what? Bruley PD would very much like to know what you know. That's a good phone call to Crime Stoppers at 344-STOP. Again, happening in West Baton Rouge down there in Bruley. Just releasing the video now, so clearly they could use a little bit of help. If you know anything, share that story. See if you can't help them out a little bit. This story, my goodness, has a lot of people talking still this morning, and it should. A 17-year-old, a young mother, shot and killed along the interstate as she's just driving along. Of course, we're talking about, again, 17-year-old Nicobia Keller. 17, a young mother to a young son, is no longer with that son. BRPD saying that they believe, evidence is pointing them, they say, to this being a targeted attack. Who would want to kill a 17-year-old mother of a child? A lot of questions here right now, but again, PD saying this is pointing to a targeted attack, so not something random. What happened that Saturday night along the interstate? This is a 110, North 110, so if you maybe in the area know a little bit about it, obviously they're checking all their cameras as well, but as always, they're going to need your help to maybe get to the bottom of this one. a 17-year-old. I mean, this had everybody talking. This had Mayor Sharon Western Broom releasing a statement about this one. 17-year-old girl who happens to be a young mother herself, gunned down while driving along the interstate. If you know anything that can help them out, please. It's a program that works so well, Crime Stoppers, but it's only because of you. Get involved with this one. Just absolutely heartbreakingly ridiculous. This was actually Callie Hubbard's story a little bit earlier on this morning. We still have some teaching vacancies we need filled in the capital area. We are pushing past a little bit now the pandemic, right? Everything shutting down, everything going virtual. We got some teaching vacancies that are still needing to be filled. There's a career fair, a teaching career fair going on tomorrow, courtesy of Teach 225. She was talking with the good folks, Callie was, this morning. Again, it's not happening today, so you got a little bit of time, but need you to register. This is Callie's story, WAFB.com and the 9 News app. Sign up right now. There you see it, teach225.com. We've got a link waiting for you right there. It is, along with first responders, we're talking about the most critical folks when it comes to the foundations of all of our communities, educators, and we need to get some more folks in the classroom right now. Actually, they're telling us they got a number of folks signing up for it who don't have really a teaching background, so they're interested in becoming teachers, figuring out what it takes to do that. If that's you, jump on board and head on over. Why not? Be a part of that as you kind of figure out maybe a new career for you. And look, as we talk about careers, Cap, look, man, you're a professor yourself over there at LSU. When we talk about those who have chosen to educate our kids, you talk about some of the most selfless people out there.
Oh man, it's incredible, and I don't think most of us appreciate how hard they work, and that they're never really off the clock.
Ever.
Especially in this day and age with digital communications, and man, it's a lot.
I'm privileged enough to have 3 kids, privileged enough, but to see the impact of teachers on those kids, my kids, every single day. Just picking them up in carpool, you could see the impact in the back of the car. What was being taught that day, and it's just power to the teacher, man. Power to the teacher.
No doubt.
Okay, so you know what these teachers could use from us? A good coffee, a good drink. Yeah. Let's take them to the cafe.
All right.
This is not your ordinary cafe.
What?
Yeah. So this is. You don't like having a drink with a snake?
I mean, if they're in the
area.
If they're a little
enclosure?
Aquarium, whatever you call it.
Yeah. What do you call that? Is that
I don't know.
Terrarium?
There you go. Sure. I don't know.
Welcome to the Reptile Cafe. We got to go to Malaysia for this one. Outskirts of Kuala Lumpur, apparently, serving desserts with a side of hiss. Giving customers the chance to experience having their cakes and waffles right next to lizards, tarantulas, gerbils, and snakes. One of those things is not like the other. Lizards, tarantulas, gerbils, and snakes.
Yeah, no kidding.
I think the gerbil is, you think that's like food for the other ones? I'm sorry.
That just took a dark turn.
It really did.
In the Reptile Cafe.
It really did. The wildlife-friendly Fangs Cafe opened to the public in December, filled mostly with reptiles and apparently the occasional gerbil. The cafe features several enclosures, each housing a different species of reptile. So there you go. I guess I could, I could get into it. I mean, I don't want the gerbils being
I feel
fed
like you'd have some issues with like the cleanliness. They're pulling the animals out, and
I think you're right.
I don't know if that would fly
I
with
think
some
you're
of
right.
the restaurant inspections around here.
Yeah, I think that's probably a good call.
It's kind of a cool concept.
It is kind of a cool. You're not afraid of the snakes at all? Tarantulas?
It's not my favorite thing, but I'm not terrified of
Yeah,
them.
I think you're right. It could be.
I'm not the one that just goes and picks them up when I see them, though.
Also me. Also, that is not me.
I'll leave it to the experts. Because I'm terrible. The people that can identify snakes.
Yes.
I look at the posts online all the time, and I'm still confused.
I could be staring at a picture.
Yeah, when the head's diamond shaped and this and that, and the differences to me are so subtle. It's like shades of gray.
Oh, very much shades of gray. And I think the problem for me comes when I'm trying to identify the snake there on the ground. I'm 50 feet from it.
That could be an
hard
issue
to see.
too. Yeah,
maybe that's the issue.
All right, so maybe mixed feelings on the Snake Cafe there, or whatever we'll call it. I think this is something everybody can get behind, right? It's something we don't really get to see in our part of the world, the Northern Lights. Yeah. So we take you to the UK, where they were seen as far south as Oxfordshire on Sunday. This was captured by astrophotographer Mary McIntyre. And if you see there kind of at the bottom, some of those pink hues that are showing up, lighting up the sky. Pretty cool, right?
It
The Met Office, which is the UK's version of our National Weather Service, says the aurora borealis of the northern lights could be seen as far south as central England on both Sunday and Monday nights, where skies remain clear. Now, you mentioned you also see some streaks,
Yeah, a little
shooting stars. So I was wondering, it could be aircraft too, depending on.
You're right. It could be.
I don't know. It could be either or both. But look at that.
Yeah,
that's just beautiful.
That's gorgeous.
And one of the things that, we don't get to see this, number one. But if you ever see pictures, videos online, you'll see different colors. You'll see pinks, you'll see greens, even sometimes shades of like blues.
Right.
It has to do with the layer of the atmosphere that these charged particles coming from the sun, what the layer they're interacting with, and what gases they're interacting with. That produces the different colors that you might see.
Told you as a professor. Told you. Now, I asked you this earlier. You said you haven't ever seen it live and in person yourself?
No. And, I've looked into this before.
Yeah.
I think there was one report that maybe back in the 1800s, there was a couple of people that claimed seeing them down in South Louisiana.
Get out. This far south?
Yeah, but there's, I won't get into the weeds, but you really typically, you have to get north or south. There are southern lights too, the aurora australis. Contrasting them borealis. But
So you
have to get closer to the poles. Yeah, happens.
Like say Montana?
Even there it's not super common, but it definitely does. We've had it in recent years far south as like Missouri.
Oh, there you go.
So it's not too far away.
It's not too far. Put it on the calendar. It's something I think I'd love to
No,
check.
I'd absolutely. Some of the shots you see out of Canada.
Oh my gosh, great.
And then you see them out of like places like Sweden, Denmark.
Oh yeah,
man, just beautiful.
What do they call them? The same thing over what's Swedish for aurora borealis? See, told you. Coming to a classroom near you at LSU.
I was taught that by the Swedish chef, clearly.
What's up? Swedish chef. Muppet fan out there, anybody? No? So good. Clearly, though, knows exactly what's going on world weather-wise. A few more warm days, apparently, to come.
Yes, indeed. We're going to be warm right on through Thursday. Very warm. But by the end of the week, we'll cool down. That could come with some storms, though, rolling on through Thursday night and Friday morning.
The seductive styling of the 2022 Mazda CX-9 elevates your idea of what a three-row CUV can be.
Get 0% financing on a new Mazda CX-9 at Baton Rouge's Mazda dealer, Team Mazda.